Hello everybody and welcome to the Eevee Expo YouTube channel. Today we have the pleasure of announcing the judge spotlights from the 2025 Eevee Expo Game Jam. If you don't know what the Game Jam is, don't worry, we've got you covered. From June 30th to August 10th, many developers come together to work on short games that are released at the end of the roughly 40-day period. Teams up to 4 are allowed, and they must work together using only public assets or assets that were created during the jam period. Once August 10th rolls around, they must release their made assets in a resource pack as well. Additionally, teams are encouraged to include the extra challenge theme in their game, which this year is weather. This time, a new rule was added that gave teams a 1-week period after the August 10th deadline to make any bug fixes to their games, before games were locked until the judging period was over. In this video, we're going to showcase all of the games that were made for the jam, and after we'll have one of the judges, Cat with no job, announce who the judge spotlights are. But without further delay, let's jump into the games. Firstly, Kyogre's Day Out is a short experience from No Pro Bro, where you get to play as Kyogre right after it's woken up by Archie. It's also an overworld shooter, where you get to rampage across the Hoenn Sea encountering many powerful trainers of the region. Next is Pokemon Forest of Fragmented Memories by Shadow56Bomb. After a stormy night, a Pokemon nobody's ever seen before wakes up in your tribe and can't remember anything about himself. You, a Deerling, set off to help them to remember who they are. In Pokemon Wastelands by Starwolf and Lil Bubblebeam, a peculiar little Eevee is on a quest to get stronger for reasons it may not even know. You, the Eevee in question, go through countless dungeons with different weather effects in a quest for the Sky Stone. Fend off dangerous foes with your new acquaintance Ruffy the Rockruff, and experience a growing friendship as you climb the mountain. Then there's The Weather Lady's Strange Day Off by Never This Again. It's the beginning of summer, and everyone is ready to go on holiday. Just one final broadcast, one last weather report to do, and you're off work for a whole month. Except the next morning, when you step out the door, you're greeted with snow? That wasn't in your forecast. But it might be your chance to take center stage for once and have a story of your own. Center stage shifts from a weather lady to a research team in Abyssal Shroud by Felcatty, Hedgehoggers, Willow, and Seth. Hired by Professor Lotus, you're off to an archipelago to catalog the Pokemon there. But something is wrong with this island that goes beyond the understanding of the natives who live there. Meet other researchers on the island and work together to uncover what's up with the island in this chaotic and thrilling adventure. Go from chaos to exploration in Pokemon Stardust Princess by Tomix9Tomix, Vendely, Kenny Catches, and Haunted Ditto. This is an open world Gen 2 style Zelda-like, where you can use Castform's abilities to change the weather. And by changing the weather, the world around you will alter. Take on dungeons that will test your wit with puzzles and your brawn with challenging boss fights. You are here to observe. Castform is here to weep. And the Stardust Princess shall sleep. Next, experience the changing seasons of Pokemon Shifting Skies by Geoswag and Alterax, where you play as Jeffrey, a devoted father living in the peaceful village of Evergreen Hollow. You're recruited by local scientists to test a groundbreaking device, the Chronobarometer. but the deeper you investigate, the clearer it becomes that Evergreen Hollow and its surroundings aren't as tranquil as they first seem. Can Jeffrey protect his home and family while navigating the dangers he never asked for? Then, Pokemon Castform Climate Crisis by ManuRocker95 is a puzzle game made in Unity, available on multiple platforms. The harmony between fire, ice, and lightning has been disturbed nearby Shamaudi Island, and now a climate crisis is approaching. The role of the player is to beat every level in Professor Clamora's simulation to see if the power of Castform can be used to solve the climate crisis. Use the powers of sun, rain, and snow to beat 9 different levels. Solve some more puzzles in the battles of 2278 Nascent End by Delusions of Grandeur and Character. The protagonists, Riddy, Cinia, Karina, and Isha, have all signed the Mortal Pact, and if they succeed, they will be granted whatever they desire in the city of Lisna. They're tasked with one of the most dangerous tasks Lisna has ever seen: locating and capturing a special Poiple before the crime boss Night Days has a chance at it. Use each protagonist's deep and refreshing custom battle mechanics to get the job done. In Gary vs. the Sun by Brawligator and Pikachu Mazinga, take a breath of fresh air in a game that doesn't involve Pokemon at all. Gary, the snow hare, feels like he's going to melt on a summer day when his cousin Derry has an idea. Go meet the genie in Copper Canyon and have him grant Gary's wish of snow. Navigate your way through the canyon, avoiding the sunlight and collecting the ice cream that increases your resistance to the sun. And maybe at the end, make some snow angels? Up next, Everdream, a Latin verse game by Otter, Rainfall, and LJ, is a new story set in the Latin verse. You take the role of a former knight of Essen, the god queen of life and death, who was betrayed long ago. As the Austin Age comes to a close and the planet nears the transition into the Cade Age, you embark on a quest to find a white orb. Explore small regions in search of the orb, and your choices will determine which of the 4 possible endings you reach. Following that is Pokemon The Canine Islands by Jampire, The Oshawott64, Marley, and Eefers, which is a Gen 2 style game set in a remote island chain where humans live in harmony with wild Pokemon. Catching Pokemon is forbidden, and Pokeballs are not sold. Conquer Island Masters and the Battle Base, where you draft a team to face elite trainers. Choose from starters like Snubbull, Houndour, and Electrite, and thwart Team Meow, a criminal organization who stand in defiance of the island's culture. Then there's Pokemon Game by Helium Pie, Nova Meow, Rebel, and The Real Spaghetti, where you visit the island called Bakaishi, where Pokemon never evolve and a young trainer begins their journey, with a mysterious voice as their helpful guide. Who is this voice, and why do the Pokemon not evolve? Well, that's your problem, isn't it? Revisit Kanto in Pokemon Blue to the Rescue by Endless Beat. Play as the OG rival Blue in his very own adventure. See what's become of Kanto after 10 years and solve the mystery of Red's disappearance. Team up with gym leader Sabrina and face off against a handful of shadow trainers, but be careful. Some of them are carrying shadow Pokemon that have been stolen from the strongest trainers in Kanto. But forget essentials. Pokemon Mystique by Mills is a Pokemon Emerald ROM hack where you play as a member of the Weather Institute from Hoenn. You must journey to the Iron region, where abnormal weather has been spotted throughout. Investigate, fight ravaging Pokemon, solve the mystery, and save the day. This game features several starter Pokemon, and you can encounter a handful of Pokemon and weather effects from all generations. In Pokemon Forecast by Foxowl and Cat, you play as a young astronomer returning to the Grand Zatu lab high in the mountains. You want nothing more than to settle into your work and bask in the beautiful scenery. But fate has other plans. Fight through weather-based chaos, communitarian scientists, sleep-deprived engineers, zealous security guards, and the mysterious clean room. It can't all be harder than a PhD, right? Finally, indulge in the interesting overworld combat in the Expedition by Anon Dogsky. This experimental action RPG has you slashing and shooting your way through the Gaianian island in a journey to track down a certain Pokemon species thought long to have been extinct. You're on a mission to rescue lost scientists, but they just happen to have a nose for trouble. Experience the throwbacks to Gen 1 graphics and old Zelda-like combat with the quality of life of 60 FPS in this very unique game. With all the games summarized, let's now bring in Cat with No Job to elect the judges' spotlights.
And now, the Judges Spotlight winners. With so many great entries again this year, it was a very difficult decision trying to narrow down which we felt deserving the spotlight. A big thank you to the site staff who helped judge the entries alongside me, Pi, Lux Diablo, and King Waluigi. In no specific order, our first of 2 Judges Spotlights. Pokemon Stardust Princess, Tomix9 Tomix, Vendali, Kenny Catches, and Haunted Ditto all worked well as a team to create a cute, nostalgic, and entertaining puzzle game. I promise it didn't influence my vote, but Pokemon's Game Boy Color aesthetic is just so lovely to me. If you haven't experienced the story yet, this is your sign to play this game now. Also a winner of the Judges Spotlight, Gary vs. the Sun. Brawligator and Pikachu Mazinga are back again after working together on Tower of Ashes last summer. And while shorter than some other entries, I was really wowed with the presentation, especially when this entry was made in Unity in a limited time frame. Not only that, the dialogue is very charming. If you have half an hour today and haven't played this short game inspired by a short hike and little gator game, I must propel Lure Hat you to try this cool game out. Another shout out to everyone who submitted a game for the Game Jam. Thanks everyone for playing them, sharing feedback to the devs, and making this an awesome community. Speaking of community, now's the time to vote in the Community Spotlight vote. On the Eevee Expo forums, a poll is running until the end of the day, September 28th, 2025. Anyone who played Game Jam entries with an account is welcome to vote on which entries should also receive a share in the spotlight. After the 28th, you can return to the poll to see the final results. More details are in the forum thread.
Big thanks to Cat with No Job for announcing the judges' spotlights, and congrats to the teams of Pokemon Stardust Princess and Gary vs. the Sun. But that's all we have for you today. Don't forget to vote in the community poll, which will stay open until next week. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll see you in another video.